In today's edition of Astana Expo 2017 on Kazakh TV, you will find out how are volunteers preparing for the exposition, who has developed Wind Atlas for Kazakhstan, what new facilities in the system of transport are awaiting residents and guests of the capital. The volunteers' preparation for Expo 2017 has begun in Astana. Today, it has more than 3,000 submissions of those who would like to participate. Throughout the year, volunteers will be taught to help visitors on various matters such as how to find a certain object, where to purchase a ticket for the exposition, what to do in case of having lost something, where to find the closest first aid post, and how to get to the city. We are having our volunteering courses already for 3 weeks. The field is very broad, because the volunteers will be serving as translators, first aid post assistants, parking assistants, etc. Since I'm a biology major and want to work in a medical field in the future, I'd prefer volunteering at a first aid post. Currently, most of the volunteers are college students from Astana, Almaty and other regions of Kazakhstan. Expo organizers, in collaboration with Akimats, are organizing trainings for supervisors, who will in turn continue their studies at assigned workplaces. The supervisors will be teaching volunteers rules of communication with exposition visitors, basics of teamwork, leadership, etc. At the time of the event itself, they will be coordinating the work of volunteers, a total number of whom is planned to reach 4,500 people. The selection procedure will last up until the end of September. The main criteria of eligibility are being 18 years old or older and being proficient in Kazakh, Russian and English languages. To join the volunteer movement for Expo 2017, you will need to register at the organizer's site. Fill in the application and send it to the following email: volunteer@expo2017astana.com. This website is a guide for new volunteers. Here you can follow major news regarding the exposition and its exhibition site Expo 2017, and also read about history of all other previous international exhibitions. Kazakhstan became a UN member in 1992. There are more than 15 UN representations in Astana that have been working since then, among which is UNDP. This program is aimed on the development of countries' participants in all realms of life. One of the important directions is energy efficiency, which is an economic, social and environmental regulator. Alexander Belly, UNDP representative, has told us about the background of the energy efficiency program and its importance in our country. The thing is, obtaining energy by traditional means requires burning fossil fuels, such coal, oil and natural gas. As a result, there are greenhouse emissions, which are the main cause of the modern anthropogenic climate change. In turn, the more we develop the energy industry, the more the problem of climate change gets worse. Certainly, this problem that needs to be taken under control. The first serious talks on this issue were held in 1992 in Rio, at the World UN Summit on Problems of Modern Society's Development. This was the same year when the Convention on Climate Change was approved. Kazakhstan signed and ratified this convention, which meant it took certain responsibilities on preventing this problem on its own territory. Furthermore, in 1997, the Kyoto Protocol was accepted, which concerned the climate change binding countries to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions. Naturally, all these measures presuppose fulfillment of certain arrangements directed at the development energy sector, incorporating certain technologies that will be conducive to reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. Of course, this is about energy efficiency as well. This is about improving the fuel burning process, enhancing the energy transmission processes, as well as arrangements on the part of the consumers, who can consume both heat and electrical energy more rationally. One of the biggest projects of development program in the field of renewable sources energy in Kazakhstan has been the National Wind Atlas, drawn in 2010, which is actively being used by investors for construction of Kazakhstani wind parks.
Вторым важным проектом был проект по коммунальному теплоснабжению, который тоже завершен и был направлен на создание условий для...
The second important project was on public heat supply. which has been finished already. It was completed in 2013 and was aimed at creating conditions for the energy saving in such a socially significant sector of heat supply. It is known that Kazakhstan has a quite severe climate, especially in winter, which is why these issues are highly relevant. Kazakhstan consumes a great amount of energy to heat our buildings in winter time, as well as to provide hot water supply. Thus, the project is focused on attracting investments into that field. Any tariff changes will face negative attitudes and mood among people, which why the objective was to minimize losses to improve the system of public heat supply. To achieve that goal, the special conditions have been created to promote this theme in Kazakhstan.
В результате были созданы условия для продвижения этой темы в Казахстане.
Another important UNDP project in Kazakhstan concerns the efficient energy expenditure in buildings. The implementation of such a project has demonstrated the relevance of energy efficiency in construction processes in Kazakhstan, a logical consequence of which was introducing new standards in a conventional construction process. To demonstrate all the benefits of this direction, there was launched a pilot project on reconstructing public buildings. As a result, there has been a growing tendency toward green construction in Kazakhstan. In terms of this project, there were implementations in several directions, a first of which is a reconstruction of an apartment complex. It is worth to note that the main housing fund of the Republic was formed in the past century and already needs renovation. As a result of facade installation, roof renovation, window replacements, and a setup of the smart heating system, a reconstructed house saves up to 30% of energy used. Residents have started to pay less for public utilities. Coal emissions from heat supply have decreased by 100 tons. Along with the reconstruction of buildings, UNDP in collaboration with the government of Kazakhstan, in terms of the program Employment 2020, has implemented a construction of an apartment complex in Karaganda city, introducing energy-efficient technologies. One of the main regulators of energy consumption in such a system is the use of thermofillers for insulation of the building's walls. There were used window structures with low heat transfer. Project coordinator has told us more about the new implemented technologies. This is a system of heat recuperation, in which the exiting air is not emitted outdoors, which is waste of money, but rather goes through a special aggregate, which absorbs the heat from that air and brings it back home. As a result, we have an effect of 30% in a superior class of building's energy efficiency. Quantitative indicators of energy efficiency in a new construction are following: 25% energy saving rate thanks to the system of heat recuperation. 50% energy saving rate has been achieved due to the use of LED lighting and motion sensors in corridors. Currently, there is a 5-year project on its way, which combines all other projects implemented earlier in Kazakhstan, named Sustainable Cities. Sustainability in the given context means dynamic development of the city with minimal impact on the environment. This time, the project encompasses the sectors of transport and waste systems. As a result, all urban facilities will be oriented toward green economy. The distinctive feature of this project is that UNDP for the first time uses a complex approach toward the development and urban planning. Then we focus on certain sectors, we give complex analysis and offer complex projects. For example, we take a city and look whether it has a micro-district that needs complex modernization, which can include issues of heat supply, transport, waste system, and building insulation.
утепление зданий и так далее, и так далее.
As a result of project implementation, it is planned to reach direct reductions of carbon dioxide emissions by 370,000 tons and indirect ones by 1 to 5 million tons of carbon dioxide, which will be significantly reflected on a general picture of greenhouse gas emissions. UNDP in Kazakhstan devotes special attention to raising awareness of social significant objects and awareness about the advantages of implementing approved energy efficiency systems in reconstruction of apartment complexes. The project coordinators note that a considerable effect will be felt only if people will see all the pluses of smart construction and green development and will incorporate them in their own practices. Presently, the project coordinators are working on the development of financial security, which is planned to be implemented with an acceptable rate for service companies that wish to work in housing sector and reconstruction of public buildings. The effect of these technologies won't take long.
То есть, помимо сокращения парниковых газов, как правило, сокращается еще и...
In other words, along with reducing greenhouse gas emissions, we also reduce budget expenditures on public utilities. There are service companies that are already implementing these technologies on the market. They find objects, produce an energy analysis, and tell you that you have a potential of saving 80% of your current energy. However, service companies don't have big budgets, while banks have high rates on top of high expectations and so on. We are working with the ministry to create a financial instrument that will allow to issue loans to such companies that will pay back quickly, which in turn will translate into increased budget savings and reduction of carbon dioxide emissions. Such funding, I hope, will be created in the nearest future. All companies working in the market of energy service will have an opportunity to apply for a loan at this fund.
И в этот фонд могут обращаться компании, которые работают на рынке энергосервиса.
The capital of Kazakhstan in 2015 has started this process of modernizing its transport system. In terms of this wide-scale project, it is planned to improve the public transport route network, implement bus stops of a closed-type shelter, and incorporate an electronic payment system. The main goal is to ease the load of the road network. A special attention will be devoted to the comfort of passenger traffic and ecological principles of the city. Bus lane project has become a novelty in the city's route network. This is a special lane for buses on the road. The idea behind this innovation is providing unimpeded movement for the public transport. The positive results of this project are the absence of delay schedules and increasing the speed of the buses by 20%. Along with this innovation, it is expected to have all of the public transport system simplified in the nearest future.
The
main advantage is that the number of tariffs has decreased. Before we had 84 of them. Now we have only 5. People living in suburbs have felt a significant impact of this reform. The fee has decreased, which positively affected the passengers who commute every day.
The
advantages of a new system include providing service for 24 localities, 14 routes each, decreasing the number of tariffs from 84 to 5, decreasing the fare on average by 50 tenge. These events are part of a wide-scale project on implementing an electronic payment system for public transport fees in Astana, which will be finished by the end of the year. The number of sales centers for passes and electronic cards in the capital is growing. There are new comfortable buses. The intervals of routes in rush hour are decreasing. Sergei Popov, head of Payment Systems Center, has told us about the origins of a new system.
We have
arrived to realization that we need to implement the system 2 years ago. So all this time, having begun conducting research on world experience, and we were selecting various solutions. If taken the world as a whole, the first systems of electronic payment for transport fees have existed for 15 years. In principle, this is not some sort of know-how. It is simply an evolutionary process of public transport in big cities. The tourists and guests having arrived to Kazakhstan will have little opportunity to get lost. For those who wish to get familiar with the system of city public transport, will be able to do so with the means of road maps and guidebooks that will be offered at the railway stations, the airport, bus stops and mobile apps, which will be available on both the App Store and Play Market.